Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Divine Within, the invisible connection with God. First of all, I want to introduce Aprilhelen. She is a lifelong teacher, healer, and creative visionary with over 30 years of experience as an art of living consultant. She considers herself a service collaborator, walking alongside individuals and organizations as we progress toward greater connection, purpose, and embodied presence through transformational courses, practices, and soul-rooted wisdom. Aprilhelen is the co-founder and executive director of two nonprofits devoted to the individual and social transformation, cultivating a global culture of service. Welcome, Aprilhelen.
Well, good cheer, everyone. Aloha. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm curious, what's the first thing you have to do when you connect and become enlightened? What's the first thing that comes to your mind that you have to do?
Go, April.
Go, April.
Aprilhelen, it's one word. Thanks
April
for the
Helen.
opportunity to give a little spin on this question after nearly 30 years of an experience of helping people, sharing my insight, and collaborating with others in the art of living. I've observed something beautifully consistent that no matter what and where, this question is very popular. And the most powerful truth that I've found is that you don't have to reach for connection. You're already connected. So the first step is acknowledging that. Enlightenment isn't something that we get. It's something that we remember. It's not somewhere we go. It's what we return to when we remember and pause and breathe and invite observation. That alone can change everything. Simply sitting with that observation and witnessing and acknowledging. And so much of the struggle, it seems, in this striving to connect, yet we acknowledge the presence that's already within us. We stop chasing and start allowing, and to find the door that has already been open this whole time. So that is my initial take on that question.
Well, thanks for sharing, and I get the point what you're saying. It's really observing, and as you say, once you acknowledge, everything starts to kind of fall into place. You realize and you accept. Is that's how I understand it?
Yes, and what comes in that, and I love Mr. James, you speak to the adventure. It's always this creative unfolding. And as you acknowledge, then that opens up this reality to have the practices that support this connection to be maintained.
How do we make room for the light?
Hallelujah.
Yay.
It's been a wonderful, I love hearing variety of perspectives. Thank you so much. So, yes, very closely related to that last question. And again, this comes up so much with my clients and uh, circle sharing across the globe. And I am familiar with consistent comments like, I used to feel so clear and aligned, and now something's in the way. And I immediately go to the body. How is your body temple? How is your sleep? What are you feeding your body? What are you feeding your spirit? Where are you holding stress that even though you don't realize you're holding? Who are the 10 people you spend the most time with, and observe how they're influencing you, positive or less positive than you're thriving? And here's the thing, it's very similar to the first. You don't have to make light happen. The light is already here. The light is filled in the universe, filling and filled. And sometimes we have filled our lives and bodies so full with overthinking and overdoing, overgoing, and there's no space left for the light to continue to permeate. And the way we make room for it, declutter physically, emotionally, energetically. So, nourishing our bodies, checking in, observing them, really be embodying the values that you say you have, and nourishing our bodies with rest and movement, foods, getting radically honest about what we're carrying and forgiving what we've been resisting, softening what we've been bracing against. And when we tend to ourselves like a garden or a temple, we naturally begin to glow and the light returns. Even though it's already there, we're more available to reflect it. And not because we've summoned it, but because we're letting it in. So if you're listening out there and wondering how to feel that light again, observe and care for your vessel. You're an evolving soul living in a material body. And returning to your body is an important adventure along the way. Thanks for letting me share. And watch how that natural light just beams from inside of you. This question, we could go through a bullet list of practices, and I'll just name a few of mine. Journaling, date for me every single morning in my time with the divine, journaling 3 pages, and that helps to declutter. But it also, as I ask for creative guidance, unexpected things come up and that inform decisions, which thankfully we have free will, or at least that is my interpretation of this reality. So our decisions are so important. And then I'm really getting into this 4-step. So maybe write these down. It's observe, observing tension in the body and seeing where you can release it, and as often in the day as you can do that, as often, moment by moment. So if you're just coming into the practice, I would even put or suggest, this is what helped me, put sticky notes all over the house and to help remind you anytime you're passing through a doorway or looking at a mirror. And I did that for a year, and how radically my inner dialogue, which is another important aspect to observe. And you mentioned it, Brother Santiago, of your thoughts become your pattern, habits, and action. And so, really getting clear, honest, radical honesty of that inner working as it helps to inform your outer engagement in action, service, and then that I'll just repeat that ruthless, I called it radical honesty, yet if you look at it ruthlessly, that even takes
Whoa.
it to a level. And
Whoa.
yeah, and then how that helps our relationships. And as we know, or as we may know, what I'm learning is that it's in relationship that our values are enacted more clearly and more connected, and it's with that ruthless honesty that we look at the integrity that we're living up to the values that we say we have. So there you have it.
Nice.
Mic drop.
Nice.
Whenever I find myself in spiritual or religious conversations, in the vein of Art of Universal Language, a little plug for one of my programs, that the first step in a conversation like that is it might be a little steps down the line. However, a very important step is getting clear on the definition of each of the individuals in the conversation of religion. And that is always my opportunity to share my perspective of I'm I'm an Aprilhelen. I practice Aprilhelenism and the religion of personal experience. In fact, I was just in a workshop yesterday and she went around the room and said, "What's your religious tradition?" And everybody was having these, institutional, traditional religious. I was like, "I'm an Aprilhelen." And, everybody's having whatever's going on in their mind about that. Nobody approached me about it after, yet that is something that to get to advocate, to inspire a new framing of that word, I think is really important for the evolution of
Certainly.
society, humanity, culture.
Certainly.
Yes.
If God made us all different, why are we trying to conform and make us all one? And lose the uniqueness. I mean, we can be brothers, but we can't lose our uniqueness.
Oh
And
my gosh, this gets me excited to interrupt to say
please.
one of my favorite perspectives on what God is or who as a personality. And it comes through, I believe it's Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, and Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith has brought it into popularity of you, me, we each are unique experiences of God living through us.
Of
So
course.
we literally, through our uniqueness and intrinsic value, have that freedom that I love. Brother Don, you use the word religious freedom, and that's really where it's at in this reframing of the word religion as personal experience. So, how are you allowing that supreme to evolve
Mm-hmm.
through you? So beautiful. And this may root back to how do we make room for the light? And just to give you a little 4-point bullet, I know I kind of went on a tangent, yet it's pretty simple. Relax, release tension, relax, accept. So, no judgment, accept, and without interfering of another's personal progress. And then number 4, that radical self and other honesty. Relax, accept, no interference, and honesty. Mic drop
Nice.
again.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thanks for sharing all that, April Helen. I mean, and then anybody that wants to contact April Helen, we're gonna put all the information that you can contact. Anything that you want to do. I mean, you want to share, because this is beyond just this podcast and this sharing. This is creating a community. And if anyone hearing this is, feels moved and is interested and wants to know more, that's where we're at, and this is what we're here for.